The View host Whoopi Goldberg has unleashed on her co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin over Joe Biden's pardoning of his son Hunter. Goldberg and Griffin got into a heated exchange after Griffin claimed Joe Biden lied in the past when he repeatedly said he would never pardon his son Hunter.
Because I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it, but I wonder to understand why lie about it for so long.
I'd stop calling it a lie.
Okay, why repeatedly say you're not going to and you do? And secondarily, for the part of this country, half of it that doesn't support Biden, doesn't know him personally, doesn't get to have phone calls, and they're just looking at a system that seems like it only benefits the people who are in power.
I'm going to say,
what precedent does that set?
Well, here's what it says. It's a precedent for all of us to open our eyes because we've elected someone who is in a similar situation, who didn't have a drug problem, who knew what he was doing, who clearly stood and said, I can do this. And he did it. So I think, for many, many reasons, this is very different than any other situation that we have ever dealt with.
The internet reacted to the bust-up, with this commentator saying, Whoopi Goldberg says people need to stop calling Biden a liar for flip-flopping on pardoning Hunter Biden. Biden said he wouldn't pardon his son. He did. This is by definition a lie. And this commentator agreed, saying just in, Whoopi Goldberg says what Hunter Biden did is okay because he was addicted to drugs, unlike Trump, who is not a drug addict. Remarkable. Goldberg said people need to stop accusing Biden of lying when he said he would not be pardoning his son. And it seems like Whoopi Goldberg is one of the last mainstream media hosts who are still supporting Joe Biden, with even leftist outlet MSNBC slamming the president.
Walsh, welcome, Congressman Walsh. What do you make of all of this? What is likely to be the response on Capitol Hill to this breaking news?
Good to be with you. See, I told you so. They're all like that. So the next time any of us complain about anything Trump does, this pardon is just deflating. For those of us who have been out there for a few years now yelling about what a unique threat Donald Trump is, for Joe Biden to do something like this, Trump, nobody's above the law, we've been screaming. Well, Joe Biden just made clear his son Hunter is above the law. Donald Trump lies every time he opens his mouth, we've been screaming.
And it didn't stop there. CNN also blasted the president's backflip.
Donald Trump decided that it was okay to pardon
Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre. How many minutes of tape do we have of both of these people telling the American people this will not happen? It's I mean, we could play it all morning. It's a lie, and it's a lie to benefit his own family, and that's all that it is. And everybody who went on TV and said, oh, look how he's the modern George Washington, he's drained every ounce of credibility from every surrogate. If Karine Jean-Pierre had an ounce of self-respect, she'd get off the plane in Africa today, where they're going, so he can avoid the press and resign. He's drained all of her credibility, and everybody else who's defended this, it's draining.
Both sides of the media are having a field day exposing Joe Biden's lie.
Let's go to the US now, where, of course, Joe Biden is in the dying days of his presidency. He's got less than 2 months to go in the job, so he's tying up a few odds and ends. And this question keeps coming up about his son, Hunter, the crackhead Hunter Biden. But, he was convicted earlier in the year, of course, back in June. He was done for buying guns while he was a drug addict. He had declared on the papers that he was not a drug addict at the time, so there were 3 felonies. Then in September, he pleaded guilty to not paying at least $1.4 million in taxes. And many times Joe has been asked, are you going to pardon your son? Are you going to pardon your son? Look, he's considering it. There's no doubt about that. But at least we know that Joe Biden thinks that no one, not even his son, is above the law.
I'm calling for a constitutional amendment called No One is Above the Law Amendment. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law. The American principle that no one is above the law was reaffirmed. The justice system should be respected, and we should never allow anyone to tear it down. Those responsible can be held accountable. In my administration, no one is above the law.
And don't fear, he has been personally asked this question multiple times. Will you pardon your own son? No way.
Your son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes. With regard to the question regarding the family, I'm extremely proud of my son Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know. And I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
And of course, his press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, has also been asked multiple times, and she has always said there is no way this will happen.
When would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he will not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.